Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is this working? Hello, hello. This. Oh, it is. Awesome. Oh,
And
all right. God, I am real tired. I don't even know where to begin with this. So, welcome to the director's commentary of the Wonder Player Simulate Civilization in a Water Wasteland, also known as Episode 3 Water Wasteland slash Season 4. If you're new, welcome. Basically, what this video will be is just me explaining some of the behind the scenes stuff and some more details about the video and stuff like that, just for funsies. And if you're familiar with this already, welcome back. So, for those who just need a reminder or are new, right now I'm just gonna talk about some stuff, like personal stuff about like why this video took so long, what was kind of like the thought process, what happened, all that fun stuff. So if you don't want to hear that, and I don't blame you, it's probably kind of boring. Just basically scroll through the timeline in this video. This is not going to be edited like at all, so it's going to be in unedited full glory. So just, figure that out. When the screen changes, that means I'm actually talking about the video. But anyways, let's get started. I literally don't have any notes, and if I sound kind of weird, like my room is absolutely disassembled, and like I'm like on the floor holding my mic because I'm in the process of organizing stuff and getting ready to move very soon. So I'm gonna be a little scattered brained, but let's first talk about why this video, like, no, but first talk about when I started working on this video. So I started working on this video just about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. It was just a bit after I finished up another job summer. And when I was first starting to make this video, I was like, oh, this video actually might be pretty easy to make. And I was kind of right, kind of wrong. So comparing this video to episode 2, it's kind of difficult because both had their downsides and both had their upsides in terms of making. For example, episode 2, the Nether video, was easy to make in the sense that the video like story was easy to make because it was pretty linear. Like, it was pretty straightforward. This nation attacked this nation, blah blah blah. In this event specifically, there was a lot more freedom in terms of what players were allowed to do. So imagine trying to remember what your entire classroom did 6 months ago. That's basically what I did for the past 2 weeks, just trying to figure out like, oh, what happened exactly 6 months ago. And it was only until like a day or two that I kind of realized I have a couple mistakes in the video. Again, I'll explain that later. But in terms of accuracy from the video and the event, it's like 85 to 90% accurate. Like, the Nether video was more like 95. This is a little bit 10% less, just about, purely because I added some extra details that, well, I kind of needed for the video because otherwise the video wouldn't make any sense. So there's a little bit of embellishment there, so I do apologize if some of the details are a little inaccurate. There's so many back and forth things, and I had to compress some stuff down and add new details just to like fill in the gaps, yada yada. But yeah, so that's that for that. One of the reasons why this video took so long to make, I guess you could say, ignoring the whole 6 months thing, because I was in college. I was really struggling with getting my grades and like, doing well on exams. That's a whole bottle of worms to deal with later. But basically, I didn't want to edit anymore after the episode 2 video because I really didn't get my college straightened out. And so I made all this in about 2 weeks, and honestly, I'm pretty happy for 2 weeks. So this video was supposed to come out last Friday, but I had a really bad thunderstorm in my area, like really, really bad. Like, I think lightning struck my area, and the power of the lightning bolt shook my entire apartment complex. And my entire like apartment complex, like, violently. It's like an earthquake. And that like power surge thing like tripped some breakers, caused my computer like shut off and like do some freaky things. Like, even now I don't think it's fully recovered. Like, Adobe's still acting weird, but the video is out, so I don't care anymore. But that's one of the reasons why the video took so long, was just because, like, man, my computer just kind of like pooped itself, and during that outage and days after that outage. So I apologize for that, but like I said, I guess Zeus just really wanted to smite my PC for some reason, so it is what it is. But in terms of actually making the video, I was actually pretty comfortable. The only hardest thing was just, I really want to make this video better than the last one, and I think I did that. There are still some like nitpicky things that I wish I could do better. But I want to talk about that, because that's just like boring editing, nitpicky stuff. But basically, I do believe that this video is better than the other video in terms of editing, in terms of like all that fun stuff. So I am very happy with that. And the fact that I technically only did it in 2 weeks is pretty good. The season 3 episode 2 video took much longer than that. But then again, I was doing like college stuff at the same time, so that's probably why. But yeah. Another reason why this video took so long was the script. Writing like what I was gonna say for the video was actually kind of hard because a lot happened, but at the same time a lot didn't happen. I'll explain more of that in the actual video as I talk through it. But it was very weird making the script for this because I want to be accurate, but I didn't just want this to be like a 10-minute video of me saying the same thing over and over again, you know? So there's that. But yeah, those are basically the main things that made this video so hard. I guess another thing is just Adobe freezing and crashing, but that was after the power thing, so yada yada on that. I might need to get a new CPU. Oh, that actually reminds me, I actually bought a new graphics card. Nerd alert, by the way, but if you know anything about graphics card, right now I have a RX 580, which is really good, really solid. Highly recommend. Well, I don't recommend it anymore, but 3 years ago I recommended it. Really good card. It would do 60 to 80 frames per second on shaders, you know, blah blah, all that stuff. But the 2060 that I got literally is double the performance of my 580, and it's actually a special SKU of the 2060 called the KO, where it's actually better at doing Blender applications and keyframing applications, like stuff for Adobe and like editing and video editing. So that's actually really good. It's like on par to a 2080, if you know what that is. So basically I have like a pseudo 2070, and in terms of price and value, it's literally in terms of performance, it's slightly worse by like a 3, 4, 5% than a 3060, but more than half the cost because I got it for $190. And my 580 cost me $150 when I got 3 years ago. So, and right now the market value of a 580 is $150. So I'm gonna sell my graphics card pretty soon. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. I just need to clean up in a little bit like that, and then once I replace with the 2060, hopefully I get some better, higher quality videos out in the future, maybe, and maybe even play more games. I don't know. But honestly, I probably should have bought a new CPU because my CPU needs an upgrade. I love my 1600, but man, that CPU is a struggle bus. It's doing God's work, and it's probably done God's work even longer than I think because I bought it used off of eBay. So the fact that it's still standing, God bless it. It was really cheap at the time, really good price, but man, it's chugging. It's chugging in Adobe Premiere. I noticed like to render out this 20-minute video took me about an hour and like something like in like a handful of minutes, because this video, what makes this video really hard to render and like edit is because the video file is really big. So everything in this video is shaders, so you can see the reflections, the light effects, and that's actually really resource intensive on like graphics cards and CPUs. And so literally the project folder for this, I mean, across all of my hard drives is about 300 gigabytes. That's about a fourth of my storage on my computer. 300 gigabytes of just footage for this 20-minute video. Like, I need to buy no backup hard drives, honestly. Should have bought a new hard drive, but I don't know, maybe when I go back to university, I could probably find a hard drive somewhere from like the engineering department if I'm lucky. But yeah, that's a bit of a side tangent. That's pretty much it for the backstory to this video. I guess one more thing I can mention is the inspiration for this event was, I believe, when we wanted to, at the time, make an event where there was no region. So this event specifically, you're just spawning at a ship, like all 100 you spawn the ship, and that's it. You just go for it. You know, there's no regions, there's no anything like that, and it turned out really well in this event. This is probably one of my favorite events. But it's definitely a difficult challenge of trying to keep track of what everybody was doing, again with 100 people. And again, this wasn't 100 people. I don't think this was like 96 at most on, but when you factor in like admin and staff, it does come out 100. And like when we had the application sign up, it was like 125 or something that we accepted. So we had whatever, right? People just don't show up. It happens. But yeah, this event was really fun to do. I had some good memories and had fun actually rewatching some of the footage. Even though it was like hours and hours and hours of footage, but it was fun. And maybe the video wasn't too bad. Keyframing sucks and all that, and finding the right footage, but overall pretty enjoyable. But yeah, this intro's getting really long now. Jesus, 10 minutes, very unedited. So I apologize, but I think it's time to get into the video. All right, let's watch. And screen's gonna move now.
In this video, we will explore a world where the sea levels have risen to unfathomable heights, where the only...
Ooh. Sorry. Yeah, come on. So
In this video, we will explore a world where the...
So if you're wondering how I did this effect, I literally just did world edit really fast on like my keyboard and did like 8 times speed and then smoothed it out in Adobe Premiere. This was really funny actually doing this in world edit. I should have made a small blooper out of that because I was literally just like key binding my keyboard so that I would break a block and place a block, copy paste, position 1, position 2, copy paste, position 1, position 2, copy paste, position 1, position 2, copy paste over and over again, and it gets this really cool effect of the water's rising. Really enjoyed it.
Heights, where the only land the eye can see is the tops of old massive mountains and floating archipelagos. With only one life.
So that's a reference to like the One Life series if you don't know what that is. Don't sue me, please.
What will 100 players do given this desolate water wasteland? Well, that's what we'll find out in today's video. Welcome to 100 players.
This panda is an inside joke for me. If you notice, this panda actually lives the entire event. It's like one of the only animals that survives for the entire event. Panda. So shout out to the panda. So if you're wondering why, I probably should have mentioned this could be a lot of spoilers in this, but I think I'm gonna put that in the thumbnail. But this panda literally lives the entire event, and that's pretty impressive. So good job, panda. You see it throughout the video too. So there you go.
Just try this.
Oh, if you're wondering why I say try, that's just a little foreshadowing that like civilizations weren't actually ever really created. They kind of like fell apart before they ever got the chance to ever be created. Kind of like I kind of compared this video to like the Bronze Age collapse in my head, where like literally as the civilizations were really getting up to like, you know, becoming a proper civilization, you know, like people were making really cool stuff, building really cool fortresses, the walls, the Ocean Cartel had a really cool base, even the Trade Federation has some really cool towers. Everything kind of collapsed because of pirates. So that's why I put the little try there as a little foreshadowing to what was gonna happen in this video.
Simulate civilization in a water.
So that was fun. I did a little animation for that.
Wasteland. However, I want to first give a special thanks to you for watching this video and today's sponsor, Pixelmon to go.
So for those who don't know, this is the Flubby Dubs guarantee. I will only do a sponsor if I actually like them or like use them. Like because you know, I don't want to be, you know, I don't know what the word is to say, but you know, you know, so I want to like, if I'm gonna advertise something, I want to like actually be like something I actually like and agree with, you know. And Pixelmon Go is actually really cool. Fun fact about me: back when I was playing Minecraft in like 2013, I believed I played Pixelmon before Pixelmon was ever a thing. It was like early days of Pokemon mods back in the EO days of 1.4. So it was kind of funny that when I got approached to do the sponsor, and the person who approached me, really cool guy, really had a good conversation with them. I was like, oh, this is cool. This reminds me of playing Pixelmon. And I actually played on the server for a little bit, and it's actually really fun. I actually like it. It's Pixelmon, you know. So yeah. And if you're wondering how I got approached with this, like literally the person that's like in charge of like advertising for the server, like just found me randomly. So thanks to that, you know.
Oh, which is a
also had fun
that
editing this,
introduces you to
editing this as
Minecraft
well.
Survival world full of Pokemon. But wait, there's more.
I'm actually gonna skip this part. I'm not gonna elaborate why I'm gonna skip that part. I'm just gonna skip that part. And if you don't know why, I recommend you rewatch the actual video and look carefully, because I like to hide things. Lots of things. But anyways, let's continue on.
On the first link in the description. Then log in with your Mojang or Microsoft account and click play to start your epic Pokemon adventure.
All right, leave your pick in the comment section. I want to know what Pokemon would you choose / like have you chosen already? Because I personally, I'm a very big fan of good old Squirtle. I also like Totodile as well. I actually stopped playing Pokemon around, I think like Gen 3. Is Soul Silver Gen 3? I don't remember. I stopped playing Pokemon around Soul Silver, so I actually don't know what like any of the Pokemon is on like this side. I have no idea what these things are. Like what the heck? I think your name is Ivy. Oh yes, Ivy. You're Pinplup. No, you're Pinplup. What the hell are you? I don't know, but like I vaguely remember. I know these ones because it's Totodile's from Soul Silver. So I definitely like my water Pokemons. I would like Charmander more, but he can't fly, so he sucks. Sorry.
But anyways, let's get back into the video. In the beginning, the great Minecraft ark that held all the players unfortunately sunk deep into the bottom of the ocean during a horrific.
This was really funny to make. So literally, I have a plugin that has like these really cool weather effects, and I just decided to like use it on the ship to emphasize that the ship crashed at some point. As you can see, there's chickens, TNT, sand, dragon fireballs, lightning. It's a mess. And lava, of course.
As such, the survivors of the shipwreck
So that's where they all spawned in that little like cave thing. That little thing. There's like air in there.
quickly scattered to either the top of the ocean
So there's like loot in these chests, and there's some below the surface.
or deeper into the shipwreck to find valuable materials and items that could potentially help in this
There's also chests underneath the ship. There's like a little bottom area of it.
water.
Oh, and if you're wondering, and I only noticed this like kind of recently, there's like this weird white box here, and that kind of pops up throughout the video. I don't know why that happens. It's like a replay mod issue. I didn't really bother trying to fix it because I spent like a day trying to fix it. I think it's something to do with my texture pack and my shaders kind of messing with replay mod a little bit, because that doesn't happen like vanilla, like not vanilla, but like when I'm actually playing. So I tried my best to avoid the little white outlet box thing as much as I could, but it's honestly not that bad for the most part. But anyways, carry on.
Wasteland. Looking at the ship itself, the players were able to find a rich abundance of resources such as food, building supplies, water breathing potions, and other valuable and essential resources.
So this was actually fun to animate. I had to animate this, which was pretty good. I'm gonna increase one just a little bit. There we go. So this is actually pretty fun to animate. Obviously, like I said, I like to hide little things, so I hit a command block and a dragon's egg. Fun fact about this event: there was actually netherite in this world. In the volcano area, there's actually a netherite block in it, and there was actually a netherite ingot in the ship. So I'm curious who found that, or if they never did. I didn't really know at the time, so that was interesting. There were some netherite items on the map, so I didn't see any throughout the event though, so it's kind of interesting.
And materials. However, for the more bold and adventurous individual,
Oh, and another fun fact, every time there's a scene where like the camera's fully underwater, I added like a brightness effect because it's kind of hard to see.
those who made a dash for the surface would quickly set sail to find many of the islands dotted about. While there were a ton of unique islands
So yeah, some of the
with their
islands
own
had chests on it and
special
stuff. Yeah, there.
little thing, there were 4 main ones, which were a towering archipelago, the
Fire Archipelago was my favorite, by the way.
volcano
That was the one that I made.
island, the floating oasis, and Paradise Island.
So in the video, it's called Paradise Island just because I wanted to be funny and reference Attack on Titan, even though I've literally never watched the show outside of season 1 back in like middle school. In the actual event, the island was called Bountiful Bay.
Naturally, many of the early explorers would discover a bunch of these
I just really like this scene. It's a cool shot. I just want to say that.
islands, where they quickly discovered special structures and items such as a small tomb located on the floating oasis that held a notch
Yeah, I'm one of those people that still says notch apples. Fight me. They will always be called notch apples.
apple. Despite the race to gather as much resources as possible, many would decide to work together, which would naturally result in many groups trying to establish some form
Oh, there's a panda. Handy. Always gotta keep tab of those pandas.
of civilization. As such, here was
So, kind of like in episode 2. So in this event specifically, there were kind of only 4 civilizations, but I mentioned later on in the video there's just a lot of more groups. Saying all these civilizations was kind of a stretch, because I think at peak, like Ocean Cartel had 20 something players, Mushroom Commune had barely 20 players, Trade Federation had 12, and the Flock had like 10, I think. So that's roughly around a little bit over half the server. And at this point in the event, like the player count dropped to like 60 players just because like people either disconnect, leave, die, whatever, and that happens. It's expected because it's one life, it's hard mode. Oh, another thing I didn't mention, and so in this event, and I didn't mention in the video because there was not really any point in mentioning it because it didn't really come up. In this event, there was actually a bunch of like secret items and like crafting recipes and all that stuff. So, and mobs. So one of the custom recipes was a rebreather. It allowed you to breathe infinitely underwater, but actually nobody actually made it because I don't know why. I mean, for me at least, if I was playing in this event, I would have made it. Then again, in their defense, it was like a secret item, so like they had to find a book that said the recipe, but no one really wanted to get the book, even though they were told where the book was. I don't know. For me, I'm a curious person, so like even if I didn't know what was in the book, if a person told me that's very useful, I would definitely look at the book, right? But it's kind of sucked that we didn't get to see that. But basically, the way the worked was you craft a helmet, special helmet. As long as you're swimming underwater, you get to breathe infinitely. Another thing was there was a special trident called the Drowned Lord's Trident. That's a reference to something else. Basically, it dropped from a small mini boss that spawned in the ocean. That was a drowned assassin where a drowned would spawn invisible, and when it hits you, like it gets first strike ability basically, and on first strike it deals damage to you, and then after that it reveals itself to be a fully diamond armored drowned with a diamond sword. And if you kill it, there was like a 25% chance of it dropping a trident, which was like sharpness 7, flame 7, impaling 7, unbreaking 7, all like it was like crazy. It was ridiculous. No one got the item. Some people did encounter the mob, but it wasn't really relevant to the story, and like I said, no one ever got the drop. And and that's understandable because it was kind of broken, and killing an undead a drowned assassin was very difficult. Like it was very dangerous. No one really wanted to fight it. Obviously it was more like a deterrent, really. And there was also like elder guardians that could spawn as well, yada yada. But yeah, there were quite a few custom things in this event that I didn't mention in the video, so just a little background to that.
Some of the notable upcoming civilizations. First was the Trade Federation, led by the elected anime. The civilization's focus was to try to have a monopoly on special trade goods, such as sugarcane,
I wonder how many people noticed that Lolified eats a pufferfish.
low supply in this water
I really
wasteland.
like this shot. It's really
There
cool.
was
I love
also the
reflection.
Ocean Cartel, led by Stealth, whose goal was to simply create a monopoly on special substances, such as vodka.
So, all right, here's the first misconception slash slightly untrue thing in the event. So this is true. Like the Ocean Cartel did want to make like drugs and stuff, as you do as a cartel. But another thing was, and this this didn't get to happen because the whole pirate thing occurred. So basically, one of their goals was actually to subjugate some people. They actually wanted to, I believe, take over just some like the smaller groups and like kind of incorporate them into their like little drug empire. And they were actually going to make an alliance with the Mushroom Commune. And the Mushroom Commune plus the Ocean Cartel would have actually tried to either have the Trade Federation join them or kill the destroy the Trade Federation. But again, that never happened because Prize One Happy kind of showed up. So while their main goal wasn't just to make drugs and stuff, it was one of their bigger goals, and it was the only goal that they actually ended up kind of accomplishing. They never really got to make their alliance. Well, they did make their alliance in the end, technically, but they kind of died soon after. But so yeah, a little fun fact behind that.
Additionally, there was the Mushroom Commune.
I didn't mention this, but the Mushroom Commune had a religion. You see the little block thing here? That was like their block god. Yeah, they had a religion behind the block god, and they would like dance on it and like throw stuff at it. It was cool. Didn't really play a role in the event, but in the video, sorry, but it was cool thing in the event.
Who didn't really have any type of government, leader, or any goal for that matter. Quite simply,
So
they were
at some point, Night Knight does become sort of the leader. I vaguely mention it. But overall, there is no really any government or central leader in this civilization.
We're just a bunch of players just trying to make their way in this water wasteland. Last but not least was the flock. Despite being called that, their home would oddly be found in a deep cave, far away from
So this map, so this is basically the map of the event. Some of the islands I didn't mention was this island right here. That's the pillager island. There were just some pillagers, an iron golem, crossbows, and some other stuff there. I didn't know who looted it or who lived on it. I couldn't find out. So that was an island I didn't mention. There was also this island in the north east here. This is the island where Mario and Flaming JP built that little shrine area. So, and then there's this island right here, which is just like a floating nether island as well. This was a nether island as well, but this was like a vanilla one. But yeah, this is basically the map overview. The map size was about, I believe, 2K by 2K. So boating around wasn't actually too bad. And like dolphins spawned as well. So, and again, the flock was roughly in this area.
any island. The flock elected their leader to be a person named Duck,
So I don't know if you saw that.
who focused on being more like a doomsday cult.
So if you're wondering
as their
why
goal was
this guy called Lord Ender keeps zooming around, it's just the guy was just like lagging out for some reason.
to simply survive and outlast
And I just left it in because I thought it was funny.
those on the surface, Fallout style. However, by the nature of this world, many smaller groups would also be present, such as these two traders.
Yeah, so exactly. A bunch of smaller groups exist in this world, like a ton. It would be impossible to figure out and name all of them, but like I said, there was a trader. There was like that little priest cult thing. They had like a cult thing where they believed in sacrificing people by throwing them in the lava and blah 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 blah. There was some people that built a mob grinder on some island. There was another group that lived on a desert oasis. There was another group that kind of just stayed around the ship. There were a bunch of groups that eventually just kind of like faded away or got picked off or whatever. So again, this event was really interesting. While there were a lot of main civilization, a lot of main groups, there were way more smaller groups, and they all had the little unique fun things. Like I said, Luna and Dixie, traders, Homer and Geeked, pirate duo, yada yada yada. So this event was really fun with the small groups.
Dixie and Luna, who simply were your friendly local merchants traveling from island to island. At this stage of the world, many players would simply trade with one another
Yeah, so Mario was here for trading and just kind of like exploring a little bit.
in an effort to gain the very needed materials to survive and thrive. However,
So one of the biggest issues with this event was there was actually not really a lot of ways to grow food. There was food on the ship and stuff, but not really a lot of tools to grow. And actually, kind of a little bit before Prize when Happy kind of started killing a lot of people, there was actually a slow the food shortage was actually kind of increasing. And one of the big perks of the Mushroom Island was that they had a mushroom cow, and that's basically free food, infinite food. So food was actually a big thing in this event as well.
when civilizations start to appear on the high seas, something else naturally starts to appear soon after. That's right, pirates.
I originally want to put like a Johnny Depp skull, like a Johnny Depp like player head, but I opted not to do it, like, you know, just in case.
As the respective civilizations were getting a foothold in this world, quite a few individuals saw their opportunity to garner as much wealth and glory as possible on the high seas. For example, there was a pirate group called the Cabal, which consisted of Geeked and Homer. These two originally took shelter with the Ocean Cartel, but seeing the opportunity for riches, glory, and a good dose of chaos, would travel out to the volcano island, where they discovered a lonely cult priest. And if you know anything about history,
Oh, so this wasn't in the event, like we redid this scene in a different world.
pirates and religious
Shout out to anyone that recognizes where this map is from, because if you do, God bless you, because you an OG, you a true OG. If you don't recognize, I don't blame you, because like this is really out of date. I'm talking like 10 years out of date.
figures typically don't blend well together.
I know some of y'all weren't even born yet, but anyways.
What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop.
Oh, so every time I censor something from now on, I'm just gonna use villager noises. That's gonna be my thing.
We did it! Let's go!
Which is funny because I accidentally slightly swear, and I just didn't censor it. So, you know, whatever.
Hammer! Gotta go!
However, pirates aren't always born from greed, but are sometimes created through hardships, especially in a world as unforgiving and desolate as this one. Victims of this reality were prizable and happy, who were lost souls out at sea who struggled to find food, resources, and even.
So, one of the things I didn't mention was before the whole prizable and happy thing kind of attacked. Yeah, in the beginning, they were just kind of like going from island to island, be like, "Yeah, we're peaceful," you know. But again, they kind of started attacking after the mushroom commune started attacking them. However, the story isn't as clear cut as I made it seem in the video, so we'll explain that as it goes on.
A place to call home. The duo felt hated and abandoned by the world, and this.
So this is one of the exaggerations of the event. Did the duo feel hated and abandoned by the world? That's a bit of an exaggeration. Did they feel like, man, these guys suck because they keep attacking us? Yeah, they did feel like that, right? I mean, when a group of people start attacking you, you're gonna be like, hey, what are you doing, right? So there's this whole storyline with Brasman Happy that like, oh, they want to do this for revenge, and that was mostly true up until like after the cartel, where basically they honestly at that point they didn't really care about the whole revenge thing. They just wanted to kill everybody just because, like, imagine 2 people killing an entire server, like 50 people. Like that's pretty cool, right? And as some people might not like that, and I do kind of dislike that to some degree, because I don't want these events and these types of videos to always devolve into like a death match. But it does happen a lot because, like, well, PvP is a big mechanic of Minecraft, right? And for me, I have a really big PvP background. I used to play Bed Wars religiously for quite a while, and I actually still enjoy PvP a lot. So I get it, but for the sake of the video, I kind of want to make it feel like more like, you know, they just want to get revenge and, like, you know, serve justice, you know, for the sake of the video. But in reality, kind of like after all the mushroom commune players died, they didn't really care. They're just like, all right, let's just kill everybody else now because, like, you know, when in Rome, right? So again, that was another exaggeration in the video. Still mostly true. They did want to attack people for, you know, the XYZ reasons mentioned. But overall, over time, they did just kind of want to go like, you know, let's just kill everybody because, you know, that'd be kind of cool. So, you know, carry on.
This feeling would only grow when they came across the Mushroom Commune, who, despite being originally built upon the idea of companionship, developed into a more inward society.
Yeah, literally, I don't have it in this video just because, like, I didn't really know how to fit it properly. But literally, like, a person mentions, like, yeah, let's enslave people and, like, use them as, like, slave laborers. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, what happened to being like a peaceful commune? Like, now you want to enslave people? Like, all right. So yeah, the mushroom commune were not really good people. Like, later on in the event, they wanted to, like, kind of enslave people and subjugate people. They were kind of evil. So they kind of got what they got coming for them, unfortunately. Not saying all of them were evil, obviously, but a good portion of them were like, yeah, let's enslave people. And I was like, oh wow, all right, that's intense.
Only caring for those within their walls. However, what made it worse was what they did next. The Mushroom Commune decided to attack. The true reason for this was unfortunately lost to history, but
slightly inaccurate. So there's not 100% so I know for a fact that the Mushroom Commune attacked first. However, I do think Prizeman Happy did steal some food. But then again, they were starving. So, like, you know, tit for tat, like, you know, do you cut off the hand of a thief? Like, is that right? So it's kind of hard to say what the real reason was. But fundamentally, they did attack first. Like, they did, you know, shoot first.
The motive did not matter, as the damage was already done.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortunately for the duo, they were able to just barely escape. If they could not be embraced by the Mushroom Commune, they shall burn it down to feel its warmth.
I just thought it'd be kind of funny to make a reference to that ancient proverb where it's like, I forgot what it was, like, if a village does not love a child, the child will burn it down to feel its warmth. So just wanted to throw that little ancient proverb in there for funsies.
The duo, now hell-bent on the destruction of
I say hell. I didn't censor myself, so whoops. It's okay though.
The Mushroom Commune would stop at nothing to reap their resources and get their revenge. Despite the 2 to 13 odds, the now pirate duo would dedicate their existence to
Yeah, not only 213 odds. Literally, Happy has regular iron armor. It's not even it's not even like prot. So, like a couple of iron axe crits and it's game over.
making sure that this day would be the last day the Mushroom Commune would exist. After the Mushroom Commune's initial attack, the pirate duo came back. Despite only having iron armor and weapons, their ability to work together and desire for revenge
I love this foreshadowing, and I doubt anyone noticed it. So let me know in the comments if you did. This sign says, "If you enter this island, you will die." And ironically, this island would be the death place for a lot of people. So I love a little bit of foreshadowing. I put a lot of this in this video. I just love foreshadowing. It's one of my favorite like motifs in story writing.
would be enough to stand against the Mushroom Commune. The Mushroom Commune, not thinking much of this new pirate's threat,
They are very undergeared. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I almost just got off my boat and axe
I
them.
know, they could have totally taken. I could have probably taken the two of them.
would dispatch a small military force led by Night Knight to deal with them. At first, the pirates duo would harass them, goading them onto the Oasis Island, where things truly began to kick off.
Don't go for
Before we jump into this, I am still in shock how 2 people killed 32 people. Like, this isn't even a hard fight. Like, with just having some modicum amount of coordination, just target Happy. Like, he literally only has iron armor. Like, right, not even any prot. You know? Like, there's like, what? I'm still in shock that Prize would have to pull it off. But honestly, that probably speaks volumes to how well coordinated they were. And I saw from their point of view, and I was watching this as well, and coming from a PvP background, I really did understand the tactics Prizmo and Happy were using, and the lack of tactics the other players were you know, not using, I guess you could say. So this honestly, the fight scene in this event was actually really good case study on how to beat multiple players if you have 2 people. Like, you can do it, it's possible, as this event shows. So yeah, pretty still in disbelief, but it happened, and it's all legit. Like, there was no foul play, there was no cheating or anything like that. It was all legit. They did it. They did it. So GG to that.
Go in the water. Go in the water. Come back. I got bows.
He's coming up.
Shields up.
There's no point. Like, if they have infinity
Help me
bows,
out, help me out.
there's no
I'm
point.
gonna die. I'm dead.
Why are you?
So you're probably gonna notice a theme. Literally, as soon as you get separated from the pack, you get picked off really quickly. So yeah, if you're ever gonna fight in a group PvP battle, never isolate yourself.
Don't let him get the diamond armor.
Retreat to mushroom.
Don't let him
Like, you better coordinate yourself.
get the diamond armor.
Happy on me, happy on me.
God,
I'm dead.
dude.
About to die, I'm dead.
We need to get out, Anakin.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Oh, so in the video, I kind of color coordinate. So every time someone from like mushroom commune was talking, that's a red color. Ocean Cartel, yellow color. Trade Federation, green color. Flock color, white. Ocean Alliance, blue. And if the player is dead, gray. So little color coordination to help people keep track of what's happening.
I just leave. Not worth it anymore.
It's not worth it.
I'm dead.
Prizable and
And Enchanted Gap too. Crazy, honestly, that they were able to kill so many people.
members of the Mushroom Commune that were still alive, which meant that there was still more work to be done. Night's Knight would flee back to base, attempting to warn everyone about the pirate duo that was fast approaching. But it was too late.
Oh, just take cover, dude. We can't fight.
So I wasn't able to show everyone's death in this because the fight dragged out really long because people basically just kind of like got isolated, like this person. But a lot of people died in this.
Guys, just retreat.
Like there's a person here, person there. There's like a couple people off screen over here. Yeah.
Get out, get out.
Yeah,
Get
get
out.
out of there. It's just not worth
Okay.
it. You're
Just
losing way too
retreat,
much.
retreat. We're all getting picked off. Abandoned ship. Get in, Rim. Please, they're... Oh.
This is pretty crazy that shot killed them. Pretty brutal.
No! He was in my boat!
After the carnage, literally only 3 members of the Mushroom Commune survived out of the total of 13.
Keyframing these like icon animation things made me want to kill myself. But they're really cool. I really like them a lot. They really help keep track of like who's in and who's out. And it's nice to see the players, like the player icons here. They're not like random. They're actually the name. They're actually the player heads derived from the IGNs of the players in this event. So it is cool to see, you know, your player head.
Team members. The 3 that did survive were barely able to escape with the help of Mario, a member of the
Yeah. So Mario was just kind of. Mario was just kind of there.
Ocean Cartel, who just happened to be there while seeking to trade goods. But despite these two's glorious victory, the job was not
Yeah, it's brutal. Every time they killed somebody with diamond armor, they just get more geared.
done, as those that have wronged them were still breathing, and they would have their
And if
revenge.
you're wondering why they're wearing turtle helmets are better for water PvP. If you didn't know that, because like they allow you to breathe better.
No matter who stood in front of them. The survivors of the Mushroom Commune would soon reach the Ocean Cartel, where the Mushroom Commune begged them to help deal with the pirate threat. And of course, the Mushroom Commune were able to convince
That's
the
literally such a cool city.
Ocean Cartel, as once again, this civilization would also underestimate the abilities
Like,
of
I really wish I had the world folder, but I don't, unfortunately, for this map, because the buildings are really cool.
both Prizable and Happy, and believed that this would be an easy victory. Unfortunately, the Ocean Cartel would not have
If you look closely, there's a word foreshadowing in the screen.
to pay dearly for this poor assumption. The pirates duo would quickly set sail.
I love scenes like this. It's so cool with the water reflections. It probably doesn't look as good on YouTube because like compression, but like man, like on my monitor looks so good. Like recording this scene is so good.
Off to the ocean
Like I've done some shaders with 4K and it's like wow. Minecraft's pretty. Anyways, oh this is a cool piston door they were making.
Cartel's home base to continue their quest for revenge. Upon reaching the base, for some unknown reason, the Ocean Cartel and the Mushroom
Yeah, that's not an exaggeration. I don't know why they didn't attack. There was literally so many of them. Like, it literally just all jumped on them. They would have just got ganked. I don't... Again, this event, like, in the actual event, like, when I, like, past version of me was in utter disbelief of how all these people died. It was crazy. I'm really curious about the people who watched this video, watched the actual, like, video, who weren't in the event, and thought, like, oh, there's no way they're gonna live. They're gonna die really quickly. Little did they know.
Commune just sat there. Even though they had far more numbers, they waited. This evident lack of communication, teamwork, or any competence for that matter,
When I was sorry, a little sleepy. When I was making this scene, Loki felt kind of bad because I was making fun of somebody. But like, let's be real now. If you're gonna ask the question, is Prizable and Happy or enemy, when literally like the death message in chat was just them killing people, like bruh, come on, of course an enemy. And also like a good example of, you know, they could have gotten easily destroyed. Prizable's on 5 health right now, literally on 5 health. Like he's so close to death, and many times in the video and in the event, they were literally on like 5, 4, 3 HP. Like, what? Crazy.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
He killed like half the server.
A good PvP there from Prizable and Happy. Happy stood in front of Prizable to protect him.
be a strong benefit for this pirate duo. After Prizable and Happy freshened themselves having mushroom up, they decided to go in. The battle itself consisted of both Happy and Prizable against 16 Ocean Cartel members, plus the 3 surviving Mushroom Commune.
So, literally all of the members of the Ocean Cartel were actually here. So, there wasn't anyone like laying around elsewhere in the world. This was all Ocean Cartel, all Mushroom Commune, all in this one place.
Members. A near 2 to
Don't follow them.
No one dropped down. No one.
If Monarch's OP bow
Yeah, Monarch's OP's bow was Affinity with Flame 1, I believe.
now.
Yep.
Or like just Affinity. It was an Affinity and like some like power on it. I don't remember. It was really good though.
Okay, guys, you're dropping. Everyone ready?
This was my favorite. This is one of my favorite scenes.
Guys, jump.
Little yeehaw.
He's going down, he's going down.
Don't follow. Do not play for help.
Sound like Avengers level. Like we're all gonna drop on him.
Don't follow. He can try breathe it. Don't follow.
I'm dead, I'm dead.
It's kind of weird. It's like the fear of not following them kind of got them killed. Like if they were just decisive and just all followed one player or split in half and followed. Like if you just put 3 people on one person and just chase them, like that's it, you know? So their cautiousness kind of costed them a little bit.
Hey, we need people. I'm dead.
Guys, help, 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 help.
Remember, stealth is the leader.
Oh my god.
Guys, help.
Keep him on land.
Just run.
And dead.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Goodbye. Oh, I'm dead. Oh!
After the
It was kind of hard to fit all the deaths in this battle, but like, you know, a lot of people died.
carnage, Prizable and Happy successfully eliminated 17 players out of the 20.
17. Some random person showed up. Jesus. Crazy how 17 people died just from 2 people.
Perhaps protecting the last member of the mushroom.
So this entire scene is pretty much false. Prizable and Happy didn't show up here to be like, oh, we're gonna look for the last player. They just showed up because they wanted to kill everybody at this point. But still in the spirit of the video, partially true. So again, a little inaccuracy there.
Commune, as such, would quickly and without warning also attack the Trade Federation.
I love how literally no one notices, like, no one.
Oh my god, Bryce bullshit. He's killed me. He's
Right.
I'm dead.
Like everyone was literally looking in like different, like in this direction. Not like if only one person was looking in this direction, they probably would have been fine.
What? He killed me. Bryce bullshit.
Ow!
He killed me.
Wait, he just appeared out of nowhere.
I'm
He
dead.
Yeah, I like how Bill 5 here just kind of like shifts. I don't know what he was doing there.
I'm popping my E-gap and I'm just
Yeah, popping the E-gap here was wild.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm...
It was one of the only E-gaps on the map, and he just ran away. And I love this little thing. Why are you running? It's just 2 guys. Like, yeah, it's just 2 guys. Like, why are you running? But it's kind of that whole thing of shock and awe, you know? Like, they just kind of suddenly show up and start attacking, you know? Like, most people's first instinct is to just run. Perfectly understandable. Very little would actually turn and fight.
I'm gonna have to leave the island.
With this sudden ambush, the Trade Federation was completely caught off guard and thus quickly fled in all directions, leaving all of their valuable goods behind. In the aftermath, 3 members out of the 9 members of the Trade Federation.
So yeah, there was 9 members in total. There was actually 10, so this is actually a little wrong. So going back to the Ocean Cartel, actually 3 people were alive, but I miscounted because the person that was alive wasn't online during that battle, so I didn't count them. So I ended up just counting them as a post-mortem death because, you know, they weren't there at the battle, whatever, they, you know. So it's kind of hard to keep track of all the numbers because, like, people disconnect, people leave, people, you know, whatever. But the death tally still stands. I'll explain the death tally a little bit more in depth, but in terms of player numbers, it fluctuates between like 1 or 2 people, so just keep that in mind.
Were eliminated. At this point, the pirate duo had now successfully toppled 3 civilizations with their own 2 hands, and by a stroke of good fortune for them, the last member of the Mushroom Commune would drown somewhere in this water.
Yeah, I literally don't know what happened.
After Prizables and Happy revenge journey, the total death tally was 32 players, including took those that were just
This
at
is
the
one
wrong
of my favorite
place
shots.
at the wrong time.
So
That's
cool.
right. These 2 players, in their pursuit of revenge, successfully took the lives of 32.
Yeah, crazy. Just look at that. 32 players were killed by 2 people. So in terms of death messages, it was actually 28. But I counted no, sorry, it was 20. I have it in my notes. Okay, so the true death tally, like from death messages, was 29. However, I counted 5 extra for 2 reasons. Number 1, if you drowned but you were running away from somebody, that counts to death. I think we could all agree on that, right? And another thing was quite a few people disconnected and just like didn't show up for the next like part of this event next day, because like they, in their mind, they were like, okay, this is over, right? Everyone's gonna die. So I count that as a death as well, because indirectly their unfortunate belief that this was over, you know, in a way it was a kill from Prize One Happy. So in total, death messages was 29, but factoring everything that I said, 34, arguably 36, but 34 was the number that I agreed upon with myself.
Players. However, this isn't for the populist of poetic irony. The hatred and anger that started all of this destruction would come back around. With the elimination of more than half of the populace in this world.
So yeah, 54 down to 22, pretty much. When the Cabal was doing stuff, aka before Prize One Happy were like kind of being evil, there was around 65 players, and then once Prize One Happy started attacking people, it's around 54. So unfortunately, a lot of people died in these types of events.
The survivors of this destruction would naturally decide.
I love how Mario just brings a cow with them. I mean, it's literally free food, so why wouldn't you?
Band together.
Like literally, it is a food truck or a food boat.
Fueled by anger derived from everything they hear in the islands. The most was anime. The leader. Remember the flock civilization?
So yeah, the flock. Flock took a lot of casualties. Duck
Creepers
dies off camera. He literally dies like in the first couple of hours. Stepclap also dies very soon after the alliance was made.
This alliance was made. Stepclap died.
He didn't die from an anvil. He died from I think either drowning or creeper. I don't remember, but I didn't want to do the same animation, so I thought it'd be fine to do anvil.
As a result, members of the flock would give up on the alliance completely and merely try to save their own skin by digging.
So this was true. They did end up just kind of leaving the alliance, just kind of like going off on their own. But they didn't just dig in the ground and like disappear. I think they just like went to like some island and just kind of like fished for the rest of the duration of this event. So again, a little bit of exaggeration just for like, you know, story's sake, but they did just kind of like leave after Stepclap died.
Deep into the earth, never to be seen again. The flock had just lost their wings. Moreover, the last two survivors of the Ocean Cartel, Mario and Flaming JP, would also defer their membership. In this video, we will explore a world where the sea level.
Sorry about that.
They have been butchering innocent civilians for too long. We must put an end to this.
Moreover, remember the flock civilization from earlier? Well, thanks to their came that mineral ocean was like alliance was born, whose sole purpose it could have this.
I don't remember in the event they named it something. I think they call it the Rebellion in the event, but I was like, why are you calling it the Rebellion? It's Prize One Happy aren't kings. So I changed it to Alliance instead, because it made more sense. Like, I think for the viewer as well, like, why would you call it a rebellion? What are you rebelling against? You know? So,
destroy,
little stretch there.
However, Super Cartels and family they lost before their very eyes.
So yeah, that's true. Pretty much a Mario, Flame, and JP kind of disappeared.
With heavy hearts, very few members of the Alliance would actually.
So pretty much everyone from the Alliance was either previous members from the Trade Federation or just random people that they picked up along the way.
Together to try and put an end to they knew the plan was simple. Attack now and eliminate it. Those that survived the alliance led by Anime would try to assemble. The trap was simple. Lead them through this front door, walk over the pressure plate and or pull the trigger, and boom goes.
Fun fact about this island existed in the event, and in the chest had a mending book and a bunch of like regular golden apples, but the caveat was that the chest was a trap chest and the TNT was actually like inside the entire island. So when we opened the chest, it just exploded, and I don't know who triggered it, but someone did in the event. If you happen to see this video, let me know if it was you, because I was really curious if you ever got the book, because there was a mending book in it. So
the dynamite, however, to minimize the possibility of hurting a lot more than just the intended target, the remaining alliance members
again, Panda lives somehow.
Would hide in the shadows.
I know this is kind of random that there's just this scene of a person just staring at the screen. The only reason why I put it was just because it's slightly funny, but also slightly creepy. Like, I don't know about y'all, but the longer I look at this picture, the more like uncanny valley it gets, and it kind of reminds you of like a demonic face. I don't know why, but I just found it funny that, like, you know, hiding in the shadows, slightly creepy face.
Waiting to clean up if the trap didn't go completely as planned. Therefore, with the trap set and the alliance members as geared.
So yeah, one of them found an enchanted golden apple / notch apple, like in a mob spawner room, just randomly when they were exploring, look for resources.
As possible, the alliance was ready to go for the final encounter. Simultaneously, by a stroke of good fortune for the Alliance, one of the pirates, Happy, would have quite the anticlimactic death.
So, fun fact about this last like section of the event. Prizable showed up like super late. I'm talking like an hour late because he was occupied with something else. Whatever, right? It happens, I guess. Who cares? And Happy actually was super late. He actually showed up after the event was over, basically after Prizable had died, and we basically just said that you died off camera. And I basically put that affirmed like, yeah, you just died off camera because like you didn't show up. So I'm just gonna say you just died. So yeah, Happy didn't show up. It's kind of anticlimactic, kind of sucks because it'd been really cool to see Happy and Prizable fight the Ocean Lions. Like that would have been pretty crazy. Like that would actually been a much more fair fight. That was possibly winnable, but again, Happy just didn't show up. So this episode has a lot of what ifs. Like what if, you know, Prizable and Happy were eliminated during the Ocean Cartel fight? What if Happy and Prizable existed together during this final battle? What if Prizable died during that TNT trap? Like there's a lot of what ifs in this episode, which is really cool. But this was an unfortunate one where Happy just kind of just didn't show up. So for the sake of the video, I just said that he died off camera.
In a cave. As such, only
I had a little bro sound effect because that's literally how I felt in the event. He didn't
one
want to show up.
pirate lived, despite the numeric. During the highest Ocean Alliance, like a great white shark, would soon stumble upon Anime's little house.
Yeah, so that volcano island is like 100 blocks away from this island, so it was really far.
Thus, initiating the final battle between Prizable and the Ocean Alliance.
He's here. I see him, so I'm shooting at him. If I do a attack here.
If you kill him along with yourself, we'll give you a very fancy grave.
Ah, can I see that? Wait. I wanna see if I can pull this up.
He's here.
It's a little
I
secret
see him,
thing.
so
I
I'm shooting
like to
at him.
hide
If
secret
I
things.
do a attack here.
If you kill him along with yourself, we'll give you a very
Can I keyframe forward? I can't. I don't remember how to keyframe on this. Whatever. You can do this on your own. I hide a thing that says hashtag foreshadowing because anime does end up killing themselves.
very fancy grave.
Oh, he has TNT micro on top. He's gonna drop it.
Panda. The panda lives.
No. If
Fight Prizable, craving for blood.
into the
So
TNT.
yeah, the TNT explodes. We all know that. Yeah, some type of block. So like when blocks spawn close to each other, they kind of group up together, and when they do that, they can accidentally trigger a pressure plate. So that's basically what happened.
On jumping right onto a deadly loyal trident to cause him.
So yeah, if you wonder where the rest of the alliance members are, they're literally just like in the ground, like gremlins.
Massive damage to anime. This would go on for quite some time, but a simple blow easily susceptible to being triggered by a dropped item.
So yeah, there you go.
As such, in the chaos and the clearly alive Prizable, the rest of the alliance would jump out to chase him down. The chase lasted days and nights, and
Yeah, so literally the chase lasted like I think 20 minutes or 20-30 minutes, some absurd amount. Like Prizable was actually giving them a run for their money. Like there's a clip in here where like literally Prizable almost kills one of them. So honestly, Prizable in a different universe probably won this fight. It was actually a lot closer than most would think. Like multiple times, many members of the Ocean Lions were actually really low in health, and Prizable was fine. So goes to show that if Happy were there, you know, would this have been a crazy event where literally 2 people killed like 40, 50 people? Who knows?
despite the 6-2
Oh no, so at this point in the event, I think there's like 15, 20 people left. Like 15 people left. Like just random people.
1 odds, Prizable would put up a fair
Look at
fight,
that.
keeping the
Look at this.
members of the alliance on their toes and at
2 health. He's literally 1 heart away. Like, I don't know what FOV Prizable uses in the scene, but like that looks hittable. If he just like spam clicked it, but I don't know.
However, despite his battle-hardened experience and the countless souls he has claimed in the name of revenge, in the end, the final death of this story would be...
Okay, this is probably my favorite
hit.
Like clip. It's just framed so cool, and just it feels kind of like epic, you know, just like the final stand, and just like gets killed, like just right front and center of the volcano. And if you notice, this final death, this area is actually the place where all those graves are, kind of symbolizing that, the death of Prasbo finally laid to rest all the players that died. So yeah, so that's it for Prasbo. That's the end of Prasbo's story. He dies, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view.
Unlike the prior civilizations who so easily crumbled, this ocean...
Yeah, literally all the Alliance crumbled. Like, all the civilizations crumbled. Like, the only civilization, quote-unquote, that exists is the Ocean Alliance. And that's barely an alliance, because, like, it's mostly just Trade Federation and, like, a handful of, like, stragglers from, like, parts of the world. So, it is kind of crazy that literally all the civilizations pretty much collapsed at this point. Pretty crazy.
Alliance, similar to the beginning of...
Like, 2 people. 4 civilizations. Pretty epic.
Prizables and Happy's story was fueled by anger and the desire for revenge and vengeance for the countless lives that they have lost. In the end, this was enough to overcome Prizable, marking the end of his story, a man driven by revenge, meeting his end by the blade of revenge.
Again, exaggeration. Was it all just revenge? No. Towards, the Trade Federation, it was just more like glory and, like, flexing on these people
as well. With the threats of Prizable and Happy officially over, the remaining members of the Alliance would declare peace.
Oh, so this was made 6 months ago, so this was on 1.18.1. Just a little heads up.
In our time. To mark this victory, they would choose...
Look, the panda's alive! The panda made it to the end! Look, the panda! Also, this fox made it too, but I like pandas more. But look at the panda in the back. It made it to the end. Oh, fun fact. This is in, like, the bloopers, like, on my Patreon. It's not up yet right now, but there's, like, a whole thing where we elected the panda to be the new president of the Ocean Alliance. And, like, there's a lot of other blooper stuff. Like, we played around with some of the trident stuff, the custom trident weapon, and the fighting against the custom mobs, and just, like, some blooper stuff behind the scenes. But that panda made it to the end.
To head their way to the towering archipelago, where they would...
This was cool. In honor of anime consumerism, he gave his life to kill Prizable. Yeah, look at this shrine. Such a cool little shrine.
Pay their final respects.
There were a lot of graves on this map. I couldn't include all of them, but there were a bunch.
To all those that had died.
Yeah, so this is literally, if you look closely, literally the names of all the players that died from Happy and Prizable. The 34, the 32, 30, well, arguably 33, because, anime died. We're all here, so, we got, you can vaguely see it. You can see some Lucas, Warhead, vaguely see it, just because, I can see it pretty well, because I'm on a computer screen. I don't know how it looks on a phone, but, Geeked, yada yada, a lot of players died here.
And peace finally being achieved. This would mark the...
That's such a cool little screenshot. Look at that. Everyone's all together. Not everyone, there's, like, some people, like, in a corner somewhere, but this is mostly everybody that decided to come back together after the threat was finally over. So you can see Mario came back, and so on and so on.
The end of this episode. Despite the ending of this player...
Yeah, so that's it. And look, now I'm talking to you. Wow, 1 hour. 1 hour, Jesus. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the director's commentary. There's nothing else that I can mention or should mention. Oh, unresolved plots. So kind of so the Trade Federation did have a small plot where they want to, like, kind of become like a dominant monopoly trade. Basically, they want to, like, incorporate all the smaller trader groups like Dixie and Luna. But again, that never happened because Prize went happy. The Flock didn't really change their plan. They just want to be a doomsday cult, whatever. The Cabal, before they died, Geeked and Homer, before they died, they just wanted to basically cause chaos with the Ocean Cartel for funsies. Yeah, and there were, like, a lot of other things that just never really got talked about or really happened because Prize Happy showed up. And things with my events, at least, events can end early. So this event ended early because, well, a conclusion was met. Everyone was satisfied with the conclusion. They were happy that, peace was accomplished. Like, this is one of the first times where peace was accomplished. Sure, it did require blood sacrifice, but peace was ultimately accomplished between, the remnants of the Ocean Cartel, the Trade Federation, and the stragglers that were laying about, including the Flock members. Unfortunately, the Mushroom Kami went extinct, like some Game of Thrones level, just they're extinct, like their lineage no longer exists. But this event was really fun to make, really fun to code. It was one of the my favorite events to actually host because it actually went very smoothly. We had 0 issues throughout the entire event. And making the video was actually pretty enjoyable, ignoring some of the small things that happened on the side. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the director's commentary. Feel free to let me know your thoughts, opinions, and anything. If you were in the event, share some things maybe you remember from the event or whatever in the comments. Or if you know, are new and weren't in this event or whatever, still feel free to comment, and hopefully I can read them when I have time. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the actual video, the episode 3 video, and the director's commentary. Hope you found it at least insightful. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you liked my sponsor for this video, and I hope you are in my Discord and enjoy your time there, and hopefully I can see you in a future event. But anyways, I'll see you around. See ya.